Hi guys, my name is Elise and welcome back to another week with the Foundry Kids. Today is week 4 of our Press Play series and it's also the last week of June. Now normally when we go into a new month we start a brand new series, but because this is summer, June and July are both going to be Press Play and they're still going to be all about having confidence in God. And so I have been loving this series and I really hope that you're loving this series and finding new ways to have confidence in God. But before we go into our lesson today and learning all about how to have more confidence in God, we're gonna stand up and sing a song.
Is washing over me and calling me your own, your own. Your light is burning through the shadows. I see the truth, there is nothing to fear. Your word, your way, your promise everlasting. Over and over, I see your hand. Higher than the sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own, your own. Your name, a tower in the battle. You are here, we have nothing to fear. Your voice, my river in the desert. Over and over, I see your hand. Higher than the sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own, your own.
Yeah, where the love at? Picture these words, that's a Snapchat. Boomerang with the praise in the right back. Man, we hide in the sky, no turn back. If it be our last night, leave it all here. No fear, be clear, this is your year. Let go of anything that isn't God's steer. Visine with a dream, man, it's so clear. Yeah, so clear. And you know wherever you go, I'ma stick close, they gon' think we a duo. Bond so tight, hug it out like a sumo. And I never think twice, you the boss of my life, no, you go. And this world not down with us. They can try to limit faith, but it's down to us. Man, love so deep, not a game to us. When the blessing come down, man, the praise go up, yeah.
Higher than the sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own, your own. Higher than the sky, your love is deeper than the sea. Your grace is washing over me and calling me your own, your own. We are your own.
This week is another story out of the Old Testament. It comes from the book of 1 Kings, and it's about a guy named Elijah. Now, Elijah was a prophet of God. And if you don't know what a prophet is someone who hears from God and then tells other people that message that he heard from God. Well, it can be a girl too, but in this case, it's Elijah, a guy. And so let's learn about a time that he heard from God and had confidence that God was going to follow through with what God said he was going to do.
Good day, friends. I'm Graham. You ever had one of those days? You know, those days where it seems like nothing is going your way, when things seem impossible? Maybe you've had one of those weeks, one of those years even. Well, I've got some good news. I know what can make your day better. Music! But it's true. No matter how your day is going or what kind of mood you're in, music can help you turn things around. It can give you confidence. Confidence is learning to see yourself the way God sees you. Here, I'll show you. Imagine that you're scared about something coming up in your future. All you have to do is play a little music, and then you'll start to feel better. Or what if you've got a big game coming up? You might be feeling a little nervous, a little jittery. Well, play some tunes. And you'll be ready for the game in no time. But what if you're just feeling low? You can sit in your room all day moping, or you can get up and get moving. You see, music can help, and there's so many different kinds of music to choose from. You'll have plenty of options when things seem impossible. Today's story will show us how God deals with the impossible. I think it might be impossible for me to move right now. I'll see you when I figure this out.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of 1 Kings. Chapter 18.
Israel was ruled by many kings who didn't listen to God, but King Ahab was the very worst. He even built a temple to a false god.
Everybody worship Baal. He is very great because, I don't know, he can make it rain and stuff. Woot!
But the Lord sent a prophet named Elijah to deliver a message to King Ahab.
As the Lord lives, there will be neither dew nor rain in the next few years, except at my word.
You pipsqueak. Baal can make it rain. Also, off with your head.
Elijah quickly departed the palace, and at the Lord's direction, he escaped and hid east of the Jordan River. For 3 years, there was no rain in Israel.
Impossible. I won't allow it. Baal, make it rain this instant.
Crops failed, rivers and brooks dried up. King Ahab was desperate. In fact, his wife Jezebel even hunted down most of the prophets of God that were left in Israel.
Off with their heads.
But through it all, God provided food and water for Elijah. In the 3rd year of the drought, God spoke to Elijah again.
Go, speak to Ahab. Then I will send rain on the land.
You do realize he wants to kill me. Okay, here goes.
As Elijah traveled to the palace, he met King Ahab on the road.
Is that you, you troubler of Israel?
I haven't made trouble for Israel. You have.
Yeah, well, I'm rubber your glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you.
You've abandoned the Lord and followed Baal.
What else? He's more popular.
You want a showdown? Fine. Gather all the people and meet me on Mount Carmel. Oh, and bring all the prophets of Baal.
Oh, you're on.
King Ahab sent a message throughout the land, and the Israelites gathered on Mount Carmel, along with 450 of the prophets of Baal.
How long will you go back and forth between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal's God, follow him. I'm the only prophet of the Lord left, but Baal has 450 prophets. Hey, get 2 bulls for us. Let Baal's prophets prepare one of the bulls and place it on an altar to Baal, but not light it. I'll put the other bull on an altar to the Lord. The God who answers by fire, well, he is God.
What you say is good.
The prophets of Baal prepared a bull as a sacrifice and placed it on the altar to Baal.
Baal, this is for you. Light this bull on fire. Hey, Baal, answer us.
From morning until noon, the prophets of Baal danced around the altar, calling on their false god.
Hey, shout louder. Maybe he's asleep or on a trip.
The prophets of Baal danced harder and shouted louder all through the afternoon, but there was still no answer. At last, Elijah stood up.
Enough! Come here to me.
Elijah took 12 large stones and rebuilt an altar to the Lord. Then he took the bull and sticks of wood and placed them on the stones and dug a deep trench around the entire altar. He turned to several of the Israelites and said,
Fill 4 large jars with water and pour it on the offering and the wood.
You do know wet wood doesn't burn, right?
Just do it. Now do it again. Do it a third time.
The wood became so wet, water even flowed down the altar and filled the trench.
Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, let everyone know that you are the one true God. Answer me, Lord, so these people will know that you are God and that you are turning their hearts back again.
There was a long moment of silence. Everyone waited, breathless. And then, fire fell from heaven onto the altar and instantly burned up the wet wood and the sacrifice, even licking up the water in the trench. The people fell on their faces. Terrified, the prophets of Baal tried to escape, but were captured and wiped out. Elijah turned to King Ahab.
Go, eat and drink, for there is the sound of a heavy rain.
Though the sky was completely clear, in a short time a tiny cloud appeared. More clouds joined the first. They turned dark and black. The wind rose, and fat drops of rain splattered onto the dry earth for the first time in 3 years. Filled with God's strength and joy, Elijah raced ahead of King Ahab's chariot to the city. God had done the impossible.
Music can help when you need a boost, but if you really want to know how to deal with the impossible, you should read the Bible. The things that seem impossible to us are totally possible for God. Listen, God sent fire down from heaven. He parted the Red Sea. He made the sun stand still. Jesus walked on water. He calmed a storm just by telling it to be quiet. He came back from the dead. Oh, and God created the earth, the sky, and the entire universe from nothing. God can do anything. Do you know what that means? It means that when you're having one of those days, or weeks, or months, or years, where things seem impossible, you can trust that God is still with you and that He's still in control. He can make your impossible seem small. Can you believe all that music fits onto this little thing? Doesn't seem possible. Here's the one thing to remember today. God can do the impossible, and music can inspire us along the way. I'll see you next time.
Elijah had to be pretty confident that God was going to follow through with what he said he was going to do because, well, first of all, it was Elijah, one guy, against 450 guys. And just like we talked about last week with Gideon, that's a huge difference in number. God used a way smaller number of people to follow through with what he said he was going to do. And then God said he was going to set fire to something that was wet. And I don't know if you guys have ever had to put out a fire, but like if a fire truck comes to your house, they use water to put out the fire. So Elijah had a lot of confidence that God was going to follow through. And guess what? You guys can have confidence in God too. I hope that you have been learning new ways to trust in God and to have confidence in God. And I can't wait to tell you guys a brand new lesson next week. It will be going up on the 4th of July. So if you don't watch it on the 4th of July, that's okay. But I hope you guys still watch the lesson anyway. I can't wait to see you guys later. Bye.